Hello, gorgeous NFA moneymaker. It's time for episode number 56. Today we're talking about how your subconsciously programmed fears keep you from manifesting what you want. And really everything I teach here on the Women Entrepreneur podcast is about that. I'm Dr. Amanda, I'm the money healer, and what I love to do is help you break through anything that's stopping you from getting to where you want to go in your business. And these are things like fears, doubts, imposter syndrome, limiting beliefs. All of these are programmed into your subconscious being, and our mind and body and emotions hold on to our past and keep us from getting what we want. And most business owners don't know that that's their number one problem. It's not about your strategies or tactics. It's about what's stopping you internally, your inner state of being. And your inner state of being is what we're going to talk about today. And if this is interesting to you, you must check out the NFA Money Breakthroughs workshop that's coming up. This is an in-person event that will completely change your life forever. It is where we are going to geek out together on all things money mindset, manifesting, business scaling, getting you to the next level of where you want to go with other like-minded entrepreneurs. And I'm really looking forward to doing this in person because the synergy and the co-creation that we get to experience is life-altering. And I want you there. If this resonates and you're like, ooh, that sounds good, check it out. Go to NFAMoneyBreakthroughs.com. NFAMoneyBreakthroughs.com. Of course, the links are going to be in the show notes. And let's talk today about how to program your subconscious mind. I'm going to give you action steps, but first let's talk about what happens to create a subconscious mind that keeps you stuck energetically, emotionally, and it limits your potential because you've been programmed subconsciously and you don't even know it. So I want you to think about this. When you were a little kid, what were you told about playing big? Let's start there. When you were a little girl and you were out in the world, doing your thing, were you encouraged to play big? Were you encouraged to be loud? Were you encouraged to shout out from the rooftops how freaking awesome you are? Probably not. Unfortunately, in terms of socialization, little girls are often told to be quiet, do what you're told, be nice, don't be too loud, don't be too bossy. And I know that this is changing. I love that, we're starting to really empower girls in a different way than we used to. But, I'm 45. I was going to say 46. I'm 45. And I know that when I was a little girl, I was told to be nice and be quiet. I was put in dresses and went to church and had to sit still and not take up a lot of space. And that was what my mom was taught to do. And that's what she taught me to do. And that's what society taught us to do. And this programs your subconscious mind to think that it's better to play small. So if you're a powerhouse woman entrepreneur like me, and you're sitting here listening to this, and you're going, I don't want to freaking play small anymore. Even if you have that the conscious thought that you don't want to play small anymore and that you're ready to be loud and proud and bold and freaking awesome and make as much money as you choose to make, in your subconscious programming, you have that counter belief. And I want you to think of this as an unconscious vow that you've made to play small, to be quiet, to be nice, to not take up too much space, to not be a bossy bitch. Whatever the labeling you have in your mind that scares you subconsciously is keeping you held back. And you're not going to be able to break through to your fullest potential if you keep having that unconscious programming happening. And so remember this, you have 60,000 thoughts a day. 60,000. And 80% of those thoughts are negative, 80%, and 95% are repetitive. So think about if you have 60,000 thoughts a day, 80% of them are negative, and then every day you're replaying 95% of those negative thoughts. That's how you create a subconscious mindset. And this isn't to beat your parents up or the adults in your life when you were growing up. They were teaching you what they were taught and subconsciously programmed, and this is how this gets intergenerationally transmitted through time. What happens is that we take on subconscious beliefs through repetitive programming. Okay, so my NFA money formula is 3 steps. Number 1, recognize. Number 2, reframe. And number 3, repeat to reprogram. What happens when you're young is that you recognize what's going on around you subconsciously. You're not having this conscious thought like, oh, my mom is freaked out about her power. You're not thinking that consciously, but you're watching it, you're observing it, you're experiencing it, you're hearing the things that are said to her, said between the men and the women in your life, and you start to frame in your mind the reality that women aren't powerful and that women aren't enough and that you're not enough. Maybe you were even told as a little kid, a lot of times, it's like, be perfect. And then if you can't obtain that perfection, you start to believe I'm not good enough. Or, you were held to a really high standard. Or it could be that you were told you were really awesome. So every time you think you're falling short, you're like, oh my God, I'm not good enough. And so these are some of the ways that our subconscious programming happens. On that repeat part, it gets repeated. And through the law of attraction, whatever you believe is what you would draw and attract to you. And so then it reconfirms and revalidates that it's true. So if you have the belief that it's good to be nice, and that there's some sort of reward for that, being nice often means being quiet and playing small and letting other people around you take the spotlight, right? You might have a fear of outshining other people. And so what you're going to do in a setting where you could expand your fullest potential and be the leader of your own life, you start to shrink and play small because you have that belief that was embedded in childhood that says it's not good, it's not nice, you'll be too big for your britches. I remember that one. You're too big for your britches, or it's this constant minimization of self. And I want you today to own your freaking power. Own your power. You are a badass. And you are light and bright and amazing. When you shine your light in the world, other people are attracted to that. And if you keep playing small and living within your fears and your doubts and your uncertainties, you are feeding your imposter syndrome and you are causing yourself to limit your income and your business. And I don't want that for you anymore. I want you to break through any of your unconscious blocks. And so let's talk about how to do that. These are the action steps I want you to take. And this is going to be you applying my NFA money formula. If you haven't read my book yet, it is I'm a Money Magnet, Top 30 Money Making Afro Mantras to Manifest More. Just go to IamAMoneyMagnetBook.com and you'll actually get information much deeper about the NFA money formula in free chapters that you can download. And then you're going to want to buy the book. It comes with a 30-day course. It dives deep into everything here that we're talking about. And then again, come to the workshop if you're really ready for like serious breakthroughs. So NFA money formula, it's 3 steps. And these are the 3 simplest steps that I could teach you about in order to make it easy and straightforward in your mind. And it's the programming that I use on myself and with everyone I work with to teach them how to reprogram your subconscious mind. And that's what you must do because you've been subconsciously programmed with playing small. So NFA money formula, I said it before, it's recognize, reframe, repeat to reprogram. So let's apply it to today, to these fears, okay? The first thing I want you to recognize is, in the recognition part, is that you have a lot of feelings going on that you are avoiding. And what this means is that you are afraid and you feel uncertain and you feel insecure. And instead of facing it, you push it away and pretend it's not there. And this is so common. I do it too. I used to be so bad at avoiding my feelings. I mean, like, I would do everything I possibly could to pretend that I was tough and strong and had all the answers. And I think I show up that way to you here sometimes. It's like you think that I never have doubts or fears or that I'm never feeling like a failure. And that is just not true. I wake up and I do this work on myself. And lately I've been having a lot of fears coming up as I scale my business to the next level. And I'm like, oh shit, I got to face these fears. And so here's what you need to do first in the recognize part. Do a feeling check-in throughout the day, okay? And what you want to do is label your feelings instead of pushing them away. Remember, what you avoid persists and grows in size. Carl Jung said that. Another quote I love here is, the cave you fear to enter contains the treasure which you seek. That's Joseph Campbell. The cave you fear to enter contains the treasure which you seek. And I'll tell you, the cave I've feared to enter is facing that I feel scared. I feel small. I feel like I don't know what the fuck I'm doing sometimes. My eyes are filling up with tears as I say these things out loud. And that's how I always know I've recognized the truth. I would like you all to think that I'm tough and amazing and strong and I have all the answers. I don't. I'm scared sometimes. I don't always know what I'm doing. I don't know what's going to happen in my business all the time. I want to have 100% certainty. I know that that's the manifesting formula, and yet I don't always have it. And so pretending that I know everything is not helping me, because remember, your unconscious and conscious feelings are what magnetizes your reality to you. So if you're pretending you're not scared, even though you are, it's not like the universe is going to not see through that mask, right? The universe reads all. And so if you have those unconscious fears, that's the signal you're sending out, mixed with your conscious desire to grow your business. And so you must recognize your feelings, okay? So the first step, recognize, do a feeling check-in and label them. Like I just did, like I said, I'm scared, I feel afraid, I don't always have all the answers. You want to be able to say that. That's okay to say. And indeed, it's actually going to help you manifest more easily when you acknowledge those feelings, okay? So that's the recognize part of the NFA Money Formula. Now, number 2 applied here, you're going to say a statement out loud while tapping. So I'm just going to do a little mini lesson of EFT tapping for you. If you're watching on a video, you'll see it. If you're on the podcast, this is called the karate chop point, and this is emotional freedom technique tapping, and it's a system to help you raise your feelings to the conscious level, and then let them go and start reframing and playing with releasing instead of avoiding, okay? And so the karate chop point is if you have your hand, let's see how I can explain this on the podcast. Karate chop point is like the pad of your hand, the kind of like fat part of your hand, on the pinky side of your hand. You're going to take 2 to 3 fingers. So let your left hand, or use your dominant hand to tap. So I'm using my right hand to tap on the karate chop point on my hand, and it's below my pinky, between my wrist and my pinky on my left hand, and it's like that kind of fat padded part on the outer edge of your palm. You're just going to take your 2 to 3 fingers, I like to use 3, of your right hand or your dominant hand, and you're going to tap, 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 and you're just tapping while you say this statement. Even though I've been feeling blank, I deeply and profoundly love myself. And I just want you to say it like, you could say it 3 to 5 times, okay? And here, let's just use the saying fear. And you can dig in and say whatever it is, but I could say, even though I've been feeling fear about filling up my workshop, I deeply and profoundly love myself. Even though I've been feeling fear about filling up the workshop, I deeply and profoundly love myself. Even though I've been feeling fear about the workshop, I deeply and profoundly love myself. And just sit with that for a second. And what this is a reframe tool. So tapping is a reframe tool, because what you're doing is bringing to your conscious awareness through recognition of your feelings, and then you're reframing the energy. So you're changing your state of being by allowing yourself to feel the feelings about it, and then you're reframing it by saying, even though I feel it, I still deeply and profoundly love myself. It's okay to feel fear. You're not going to avoid it. Pretending it's not there doesn't make it go away. It just keeps attracting more to be afraid of. And so we're going to acknowledge and reframe. Okay, so that's the reframe part. And then you're going to repeat to reprogram. Remember, there are only 2 things that program your subconscious mind, and it's repetition and hypnosis. And it's in hypnosis, you're getting yourself into a certain state of frequency, and then you are suggestions can cause you to change, right? That's hypnosis. Tapping is a similar thing. Meditation is a similar thing. Using mantras is a version of reframe. And the trick is that you got to repeat, repeat, repeat. So I want you to do this several times throughout the day. And you saw how long that took for me to tap and say that phrase. You can do this in 30 seconds. You can do it in the bathroom at work. You can do it in your office at home. You can do it you can't really do it in the car unless you're not driving. I will say you can even imagine you're tapping, and it will work if you're not able to actually tap. So let's say you're in a setting where you're feeling freaked out and you're around other people. You can visualize yourself tapping, and it'll work too. So play with this. Of course, ask me if you have questions. I'm going to be bringing you lots of tapping techniques because it's working so well for me. And I love bringing strategies and methods that help you reprogram your subconscious mind to get where you want to go. And so that's for today. Let's recap. Remember, You have been subconsciously programmed since childhood with the limiting beliefs that you have. Women have very particular ones. You have very unique ones. So start playing with recognizing what they are and use these 3 steps to start to reprogram your subconscious mind. So you're going to recognize by acknowledging your feelings and labeling them. You're going to reframe through EFT tapping using the statement, even though I'm feeling blank, I deeply and profoundly love myself. And then you're going to repeat to reprogram. And this will, over time, reprogram your subconscious mind so you can manifest what you want more easily. I am sending you so much love, and I would absolutely be giddy with joy to see you at the NFA Money Breakthroughs workshop. So go to NFAMoneyBreakthroughs.com. I'd love to see you there. There's a link at the bottom of the page if you want to talk to my team about, and it's actually my husband. It does these conversations. If you have questions about the workshop, I want to see you there in person. I want to give you a hug, and I want to help you break through to the next level. Till next time, I'm sending you hugs and NFA money making high fives. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Woman Entrepreneur Podcast. If you're ready to break through to the next income level in your business, go to www.thewomanentrepreneurpodcast.com to get more money mindset, manifestation, and business scaling resources. Again, that's www.thewomanentrepreneurpodcast.com. I look forward to seeing you on the next episode.